I helped bring back the Apollo 13 astronauts, having worked on the navigation system at AC Electronics for the Apollo system. 1986, I was invited to come to Pakistan to lecture. During that same trip, I also visited Japan and taught Dr. Emoto how to do work with emotion and freezing. In Kiev in 1991-92, we were able to do a first major cancer research project where we were able to compare synthetic chemotherapy with the natural form of the vinca, which is where it was originally found. You can get all of these on IM-Flix and learn out more. Jacques Benvenisti wrote to me about water memory, and I was able to help him. Working with my machine in Budapest, I was able to find a natural remedy that really helped AIDS. I went to Singapore. This is where I met Luc Montagnier, who won the Nobel Prize. And I was able to educate him about water memory, and he did excessive work on that as well. And in 1996, I got involved with stopping an international pedophile ring.
Pedophile gangs who steal and sell children for abuse seem to operate freely and without constraint. Efforts to arrest and prosecute these offenders is difficult. It seems that government cooperation and support for these gangs comes from high levels. Many countries do not have laws against pedophile actions. This makes a worldwide problem, allowing for certain areas of sanctuary. Even in countries with strict laws, there is a tendency to overlook and divert attention from such heinous crimes.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really understands how large a problem this is for the world. Not just for the child that's abused, not just for the one child whose life might be shattered or, affected. This has a dramatic, powerful, negative effect on the entire world.
How I stumbled on this international pedophile ring. I had done this work on AIDS, presented it in Singapore, found that AIDS with antibiotics is what kills people. And here there was a pedophile ring masquerading as an AIDS hospital in Romania. I presented my paper in Singapore and also in Budapest at a major medical conference. And in my paper, I had a title.
If a man sees a wrong and doesn't correct it, he's not a man. When he told me about that, he said, well, what about these AIDS hospitals in Romania? Would I be willing to take my diagnostic machine to one of these hospitals and check out the children? So I said, fine. We hopped into a car, drove most of the night.
I was to find out later it was not an AIDS hospital. It was an international pedophile ring posing as an AIDS hospital so that they could steal children and sell them throughout the world.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm Dr. Nelson. They asked me, I was doing a presentation in Budapest. My friend here asked me to come and test these kids with my diagnostic device.
That's a diagnostic device.
Yeah, it can measure, find out what type of diseases the children have.
So this thing can tell whether he's got AIDS or not?
Yes. Yeah.
There was a doctor in there with a diagnostic device. Get him out of here.
Okay, let's go. Come on, Wes.
A struggle came out. I was hit. I was in a coma for days. When I awoke, they'd stripped me naked, tied me to a table, and were going to kill me. And I found out that there really was pedophile rings, international pedophile rings, at the highest level of power, where children would be bought and sold. And here I had been involved. I captured all of this in the true story, The Greatest Sin, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I welcome you to watch that on IM-Flix to understand more, because there truly are these pedophile rings catering to the ultra-rich, and then they have really bad people working for them. I was able to just barely escape with my life. Then they found out that I was gone, and they sent their bad guys to try to hunt me down.
The doctor has escaped.
What? What do you mean the doctor has escaped? Where the fuck is Pietra? Go get the boys! Go get them! Fuck! Oh!
They chased me, but I was able to get to freedom, get to safety. so that I could tell this story to the world, and you could see my influence. French Inspector Jean-Bert came to me. I was able to tell him about it, and he was able to go to Romania to break up that ring. 1 person in 100 has pedophile urges, and rich people will pay money to satisfy those urges, pay lots of money. So there was criminal international organizations formed to satisfy their needs.
Only a small handful of people stand in our way. Most will just change the subject. All humans are enslaved by their deep desire. No one is immune. Then we come in to supply a service to mankind. I travel the world to do my job and enforce the silence. I am the surgeon, my gun the knife, money the reward. Our vast network of rich and powerful persons allow my travel and welcomes my service. In my mind, I can see the troubled, disturbing nature of the human condition. In my mind, I can see mankind's worst nightmare. In my mind, I can see mankind's greatest sin. Greatest sin. Greatest sin. Greatest sin.
I found out about children who were captive, given children books to read that they drug their fingers over and wore away the pages. Children used for sex, used for horrendous things, chased in the woods like rabbits and killed in satanic events, and then eventually meet their demise. What could be a greater sin? This got to be the greatest sin, to take away a child's life. They take away a child's sexuality and destroy this. And I knew something had to be done. Somebody had to tell this story. So I took the expense and made the greatest sin. My wife Ildiko, my son Sterling, and all of our friends, we got together to make this movie, to tell people of this, what was happening, to be able to try to help the children, these innocent children who were being abused around the world, and most people would just look away. But no, somebody had to draw attention to this. And in so doing, I was able to get that international pedophile ring kicked out of Romania. Because of information from me, Inspector Jean-Bert was able to go to Romania, and there, as he broke up the ring, he found evidence of Marc Dutroux. Marc Dutroux was then arrested, but...
In Belgium today, a judge let a suspected pedophile go before even a total review of the case could be rendered. There is suspected graft and corruption involvement.
The people of Brussels protested. They went out and stopped the traffic. They stopped the businesses. They said no more to this. Inspector Jean-Bert called me up at my home in Budapest and told me that because of me, because of what they found, this white parade was happening. That the people stopped all traffic and all businesses in protest of the pedophiles.
People of Brussels are protesting en masse. Over 350,000 people have blocked traffic and halted the city to a standstill. They are protesting the release of the pedophile suspect in court today. The people have said no more to the pedophile fixing and corruption. The people's protest has shocked the courts and the prosecutors. The suspect was returned to custody. The sheer size of the crowd tells us the world climate has changed.
The bodies of Julie and Melissa were discovered, buried in Dutroux's garden in Salle-Boussier.
The world is horrified, and Dutroux maintains that he's part of an international pedophile ring.
For 4 months, the court was drip-fed with the horror of what had happened to the girls and the confusion of the case. Dutroux maintained that he was merely part of a bigger paedophile network and denied the kidnap and murder of Julie and Melissa. As the basement cell had been the center of the tragedy, it also became the focus of the case.
Dutroux was even given a chance to escape, but instead of escaping, he went to the library and tried to find proof of the international pedophile ring that was really behind all of this. Returned to his cell, Dutroux prepares for his case in Arlon.
The world's media has descended on the town of Arlon to hear prosecutors tell the 12-strong jury how Marc Dutroux kept young girls locked up in makeshift cells in the basement of his home.
I finished the movie, The Greatest Sin. I called it the Marc Dutroux story at the time, and I went to Arlon. I went to the trial to try to tell the world and tell the press about what happened.
So I just finished the movie a couple months ago. It's never been shown to an audience. Tonight, here in Arlon, I'm going to show that movie. I've invited the press to come see it tonight.
We invited all 900 of the world's press to come see the movie of the story they were covering, but...
Well, it is after 7 o'clock. But here we have our room for 300 people. Nobody came. Very interesting. Why the press is so easily diverted from our movie.
When I last talked to Inspector Jean-Bert back in the White Parade, he told me that some of the world's richest, most powerful people name were on the list that he found in Romania. They were purchasing these children. He told me of the dangers, and I did not know that literally he died a couple of days after that. And on his death certificate it said that it was suicide. But here, after this appearance that I made in Arlon, his children asked for his body to be taken out, and an autopsy revealed there were 2 bullets in the brain. Inspector Jean-Bert was murdered.
There are 25 people, witnesses of this large ring, dead. This is true. There is an international pedophile ring. Marc Dutroux is saying it every day, and the prosecution is denying it. His defense attorneys are denying it. The media is diverted from this. The powers that be are not being touched by anybody, anyplace, anywhere, except me. And you can't get around me, because I'm putting this on film. I'm putting this in movies. You missed me. You didn't get me. But let me tell you, something's happening here. And you are the problem, because you people look the other way.
We chased the ring out of Romania. Romania changed its laws, and that ring moved to Dubai. So I went to Dubai. Here I am in Dubai, and I chased them there. Found them and protested with the people. Took it to the top people of Dubai, and I chased that pedophile ring out of Dubai as well. You can see all these movies on IMFlix, and you can learn a lot more. This horrific act of these pedophiles, what they do to children, was horrendous. And everybody looks away and they don't get prosecuted, just like with the Wonderland gang. What happened with them, it's appalling.
One of the pictures is of a grown man having sex with a 6-month-old baby. In this reporter's eyes, the appalling, disturbing, and horrendous nature of these pictures offers a very woeful commentary on humanity's ability to deal with pedophile acts. In general, pedophile gangs around the planet have escaped proper repercussion or punishment for their crimes. This is a sad reflection on our society's capacity to defend our youngsters. Can't someone defend the innocent children?
Somehow, somewhere, protect the children. Someone, somehow, some way, we must protect the children. I beg you, get off your asses. Do something. Recognize that this is true. We need to protect these children, because anytime one child is at threat, the instinct that pervades to the other children is unholy.